Hello, my name is Russell Scott from scottcarvings.com, and today I am going to carve out my, as of this moment, brand new rough out, which is the Santa Claus carrying books, to which you can find in my Carving Undercover Santas. And this is based on the Librarian Santa. I made this into a rough out for two reasons. One is that a lot of people are asking for it to put it in a rough out. And with him carrying those books, I can see so many things you can do with that. So many. You can packages. I was even thinking I'm going to do like a dog cage or something. There's a dog, and then the dog would be ripping its head out and taking its head out, and you'd have an extra dog piece in there and maybe some dog treats. All kinds of things you can do with this. Oh my goodness, you can do all kinds of things. But as I've said, this is brand new, so at the moment, in other words, today, I do not have a pattern for it other than this guy here, and we'll go off the real deal. Now, what I had to do is, in order to be able that this to be made as a rough out, I needed him to be on a floor. Might be a little thicker than I wanted, but I wasn't sure how much he needed. And then we can still make a floor out of it, one way or the other. And as I've say, I would take, a matter of fact, I had a very good batch. Here's one that's got just a little bit of anomaly. I wanted to do that and use that one because I don't like giving rough outs with anomalies on to my customers, to my carvers. And first off, as I always say, when you start a rough out, let's get the pencils in to the creases. Let me see. I gotta make my, where's my because I will get out of, make sure it isn't an old one. See, I can always erase that, so make sure that is in there. So let's go. Penciling these creases so we don't lose them. I think the lighting could improve a bit, somewhat. Or either that, if I were to do this and turn towards light, because light can only go so far in. And with that, I am going to, yeah, it's a long, the thing is, it's a long bulb. This isn't a little bulb, it's a, a wiener bulb, and that's why it's still, no matter what I do, it's going to have a shadow. So with that, put it a little closer, so, is that right? Yeah, all right. Here's the important part. I'll just separate the beard from the box, or the beard from the books. Now this, did he have an accident here? Or maybe that's still all right. We'll have the hand. Well, that's probably all right. And because the thumb is going to come up, holding on to the, oops. There's the bottom of the box. Sure some of that is going to go away. No, here comes the cat again. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Now as for the hand, let's get the boxes in. Why do I keep saying boxes? Let's get the books in. And of course these sorted, so this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna keep this over here a bit. I still want to get out of here and not get too distracted by the tail. I thought you're gonna have to key you off in here. Now this arm and hand. Yeah, it's gonna come back with some more. Yeah, because you gotta make both hands fit. And then later on we'll get the fingers in. There's a separation of boxes and oops. I'm trying to do this. That's an obvious crease there. Okay, and I want to leave the face alone until we're ready to get into it. Now, I don't know if I'll waste my time with this. I know where that is. Now it's maybe same here. Oops. More like this. Now you can see where the shoe is, but shoe with the boot. Okay, I guess other than, now what you could do, since this is long enough, I'll do the extra where there's a round ball and the red comes to here, maybe a little farther down. And then we'll have this kind of this gold thing there. Okay, and then later on, now the thing is, when we're cleaning out, there is still room for a belt. The thing I'm a little nervous about what happened in here. Let's remove this. Oh, okay, I see. Now we don't have to worry too much about the belt other than not putting a crease in there. We'll come back to the belt. because that's all going to go away. All of this is going to go away. Well, actually, we could put it in since we see it, so we don't have to try to figure it out later. So we'll put it in. Usually, when it comes to belts and stuff like that, there's plenty of wood that you don't have to pencil in, but we'll do that. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna put both gloves on, because not only my chiseling glove, but also my cuticle protecting glove, and this is already starting to wear out, but these you can buy, they're still cut gloves. Because the reason why that got there is because I thought I had all of my tooths up, but like when I do something like this with my big tool here, is what happens. Sometimes the edge gets right on or the corner, or whatever you want to call it, edge gets right on the glove. And what's going to happen here, we don't have to worry about this. I was just showing you. What's going to happen down here is that, like, he's going to be on, by the way, where is my new cross right there? He is going to be on boards. And I'll have something like this, a board this way, board this way. I'm not going to do that right now. It'll be the same. This is just going to come straight across because of the boards. So this is the same as this side. And then we'll be doing the separation of boards. I almost say kind of almost like not very, don't have to use too much brain power on that. Let's get started. Get the little V's in. There's a little bit of the belt. All right, let's commit to the belt buckle. Committing a little bit to the belt buckle. Now we can come in here. Coming in here. The chisels are relatively, as best they can, sharpened. You know, when it comes to V tools, you know, sometimes it's more difficult to sharpen them, but I mean, it was a lot worse before. See what down here, and there's going to be quite a, since he's tilting back, I got him tilting back because he's holding on to the books. Therefore, this front is going to come out more, and I think we'll be doing some undercutting and bringing the coat away from the pants. Let's get into the tufts. You know, that does kind of seem a little large. That's fine, because if it's going to end up large, we can trim it down. Because he does have 1 foot back. Separate the legs a bit here. And same with the feet here. Get the feet separated from the floor. I'm thinking I'm coming up to, I think that's a burn mark from the router. However, the others up here are not burned. I know that for sure. Yeah, see, that's working. And we'll get it in there deeper with some other round tool. We'll get in there deeper. That's tuft or fur lining. Now the arm. Got to remember how big is that. Make sure we don't make the. Make sure we don't make the belt wider. Usually I have that problem. Is the belt is wider than the buckle. Not paying attention. Oh, it's red-breasted nuthatch o'clock already. My back of my throat is starting to get dry again. You hear me coughing, I'm not sick. Dry back there. I want to put this separation here. I still want to separate the hat from the head. Come up here. Very tight up here for now. I want to make sure we got enough for the head and don't get too far down. We can always bring it up. So when you're playing with the hat on any character, make sure you have enough face. You can always bring it down. I think basically, if I'm not mistaken, depending on which character you're on. Yeah, there. Okay, what have I forgotten with the exception of the head? Oh, the oh, sorry, the packages. And the hand here. You're going to make sure I got enough for the hand. Same with this hand here. I want to get that thumb in. That's probably the most important. Let me get this in here too while we're at it. Okay, unless we have forgotten anything, I think we're ready to dig into the rest of it. Some odds and ends yet. Shoe coming out. Separate the shoe from the, from the floor. What else have we forgotten? All right, I kind of wanted to save the packages, save the books to last. Now, what I want to do is, I want to do this a little bit of a turning, since as you can see here, I have first from the bottom, books are in until you get to that third or fourth one is the farthest one out, and then come back in again. Where are you? Right there. So I'm turning this way. So I'm cutting into the bottom and then the side. Now, this one is same thing. Try to keep that as straight as possible. Now we turn it the other direction. All right. Now let's just take my one pencil. Now the hand will take care of the bottom three, but for sure the top three. There's one anomaly. Now what we have here, I have more of a separation of the beard. Oh, I didn't do the beard here, or the hair. So I'm going to do just a little bit of this for now. Again, there's more shaping. Now it's over here. Now it's the bottom one is hid. The second one, a good chunk of it is hid, so we can still have some beard or some extra going on here. Yeah, I think something when I looked at it, that's this one here is the more complex of the stack of books. So I'm going to curve this way. Come back this way. And then I will separate a bit this way, just get the separation started. Oh, here I did forget this. Okay. Now you can see it's starting to take shape. I will, because the nose is going to come down here, and of course the cheek is, but we'll definitely come back to that when we do the head. Boy, I try to do a little more than I should. Got kind of goofed up there. Now we could. Does it click close? Because the wood is this way, therefore we want it to come down. I've always hated that flat grain. Going in that direction. We'll cut a little bit here. Get the cheek out of there. I did add a little extra if you want him to have a huge nose and his nose is on the book. I decided to do that, put some extra on it, but on the pattern, but we'll come back and see what we decide then. And I will, let's just get this in. And he does have ears. Like I said, I better put this in. Now we could do this with or without ears. I'm going to do it without because I already got one that does have ears. And of course I've got several videos that Santa's with ears. Alright, and so what we're going to do, first of all, you can get started getting some of the... Now one of the things that I've saw, if you want to do this, you can start in on this. I wonder if I should do it on this one. As many, instead of taking this is the fur. So instead of taking the fur off, actually I prefer to give it a quick, is to take your round tool, quick round tool, and take it off that way. The reason I want to do this is when I do this, there's still some fur in there. So I'll do a quickie here. And what do we got? Some of my smaller number 9s here. Well, let's do a larger number 9. Let me do this to it. And we're kind of cleaning the... Now you can do this if you want without any cleaning. But like I said, I've tried that. I got to get to learn how to do this a little better. But sometimes when I do this straight from it still has a little bit of that fur in there. So we can do that. Let's do it this way because it's different. We'll do that with this. See, let's see how well I can do that here. I think I need a sharper in and out. You see, sometimes you get some of that fur still there. That might be still okay. Depends on your preference. But there's that. And it's a matter of taking your knife and getting which one it is. Nice clean cuts, of course. Because it gets to the point also as you clean this, you're done with this. Might be a little bit of shaping or whatever, but you don't have to worry about coming back a second time. Okay, now I'm going to start in on, oops, careful. on the books. Like I said, the bottom book comes out, and you want to use flat knife as much as you can. This little tip, because that's the thing I'm discovering and trying to learn and get used to doing, is that then you don't have that many little hacky marks. Okay, so that's here like this. Same thing here. Now I might have to come back if I get a little too deep with the second book. I may have to come back again. See, I do have to come back again when it comes to adjustments. See how that, I did get the, this is going to come in a little bit because I want to make each book a little different size. Okay, now here, the second book, third book. Fingers out of the way. Again, as flat as you can. Now when you get up to this fourth book from the bottom, all you have to do is just clean it a bit. Now here it's going to be a little difficult. Well, no it isn't. Same thing, as flat knife as you can. Because it looks like, it feels like we're going against the grain here. Or with the grain, which is fine. We still got plenty of book. For cleaning that, that's because it went with the grain instead of against the grain. Okay, I mean, be careful with the hand. Actually, we're still just taking the fur away. We can shape later, but once in a while, that's what I do. Is I get into something, and there you are. And just keep taking the fur off, making longer scoops for two purposes. It'll be quicker, number one. It'll be cleaner. This is your chance to really be practicing on your longer strides. Again, straight down, straight across. It'll make it much cleaner. Okay, just keep cleaning. And then we'll get there. All right, we're back here, and let me get in a good position here. And what I was going to do, or what I always do, is kind of start at the bottom, work my way up. And I'm going to do the floorboard here. And I just got kind of this started here. This is about however thickness you want. There's no, I have no ruler and it's got to be exactly. But I say it's about here-ish. Whatever you want. This is the floorboard that I always use. Because of this block or this bottom being so large or thick, I mean, if it's a lot thinner, I kind of I like this figurine here. Too bad I can't do this. See how the boards just kind of come to an end like that. I kind of like that, but it's a little too thick. Or if I wanted to spend that time, as much time as to push this bottom in and have the top floorboard sticking out and do stuff like that. Or you can even take your saw or whatever and make it more rounded. But this is regular, ordinary. I gotta put my chisel. I'm gonna use a chisel to start with. And again, I mean, it probably doesn't matter if I go straight in, but I'm still gonna tilt it a little bit away from. Okay, still a little need of sharpening, but functional because I'm gonna go, whatever marks it leaves, I'm gonna go well past it because this is just or you can take your knife and do a stop cut. But sometimes I like to use a chisel, the V chisel to begin a stop cut. So when you do take your knife to do a sharper stop cut, then it stays in that gully here. It's a little extra protection, I guess. I don't know. But I just wanted to show you that first. Again, use the flat end of your knife. But I'm going to stop right there for a second. I'm going to put some more pencil marks in. I'm going to leave that like that. This is going to be like a board. See, same with on this side. So that's a board. Same with this side. And this side. So that's a board. So I'm going to put in the V. Or, you know what, here, let's try this without the V. Straight. Yeah, let's do it without the V this time. Straight. Straight in as best you can. Watch when you get to the other end. Make sure you use your thumb. There's a lot of people, when I teach my wood carving, and I watch them and they're like this. Don't do that without the thumb, because you have no control as compared to the thumb. You got control, and you also have more power. I see people go like this. Don't do that. Thumb. That's why people always use, or a lot of people use thumb guards, because when you do this, which is the right way, that if your thumb is not out of the way, you'll snap and hit that thumb. Thumb out of the way, use your thumb. Flat. Come on. Get out of there. Now you can have that sticking out. Or, so in other words, if we do more of this, So we're putting a warp to that board, and you can have it warping out, in which this board will go in because, so much for the clean cut. I think the reason why, again, I'm cutting at a strange angle away from myself for the camera. And that's why it's kind of difficult for me. I mean, if I had it closer to me, I'm going to put a more, see if I'm carving like this. So you can't see it, but then I didn't want to get it too close either. So let's do some nice cuts here. And this can be all, just a little bit here, not that much. And this can all be imperfect. These boards are imperfect because they're warping. But we still want to take the, if there's any saw marks off. In fact, let's put a little bit of warp right here. A this way warp. And up here. This way. Put this underneath. Little warping. Make sure the saw marks are off. Some imperfection. I'll do the same here. Oops, I forgot this. Trying to think, what kind of bird is that? It's whatever that bird is o'clock. This time we'll do this today. Yeah, I did. This time we'll go in and we'll warp. The board will warp in the center. Warp out in the center. And here, last, we'll just bring it in a bit. Some cut marks I got in there. There we go. Now we'll come back. I'll deal with these boards later, but let's, now this you may want to use a ruler. I don't have one handy. Unless you don't want it to be overly perfect, because I'm going to do this in fourths, so I don't have to do as much. Or you can have it going in another direction because well, he's probably still going straight across the room. Yeah, you might have the floor going like this if you want it more realistic, or if you want to. I'm just going to do it the quick, simple way. One thing about these rough outs, and of course cutouts too, you can do it exactly how you want it. Change it. Oh, where do you think you're going? Did I do that on that side? No, I didn't. I have to use the steel eraser. What the heck do you think you're doing there? And again, this is winter time when I'm doing this, and the electrostatic, the wood holds on to the knife, and it's very annoying. All right, let's get our V in there. That's like a straight down V. Right. Okay. Now you could probably go without the chisel. Let's get rid of the pencil marks, and of course, do not be perfect on your angles. Let's add a little bit of warp here. See, the thing to practice on when doing cuts like this is to try to really focus on making it so it'll meet and it'll come out in one piece, because what happens when it doesn't, then you have to bring your knife in again, and what happens, well, that's okay for that to happen, but is that once you get the third cut and the fourth cut and the fifth cut, then it's no longer perfect. Then it's no longer clean. Now in this case here, even though I screwed up and brought that up, still that'll add to it. Now you can bring, I'm not going to do that right now, but if you want to clean that up, because what's going to happen when you paint that, you can. And the same here, we're going to warp these boards. So we'll warp it a little bit this way. Take that pencil mark out I just put in there. And maybe we'll lift this board up a little bit. See if it doesn't work the first time, and each time it's just going to get worse. See how we're really lifting those boards up and doing all kinds of things to them? Like I said, I wasn't going to do this. It's working so far. The thing I've discovered that when you do stuff like this, the wider the angle, the better chance of it coming out clean. but sometimes you can't have wide angles. You can probably have wider angles because, why not? Because it's imperfect. There you go. The wider the angle, but once in a while you can't get that wide angle or need that wide angle. Let's warp this guy this way. Let's warp this guy this way. And this is very, I want to say, very rudimentary style of warping, because if you want to really get more into making that look really warped, you spend more time. Same with these corners here. Maybe I take a corner out. See, and I'm not going to get too much into detailing right now of that. You can't. And then you could also do your, like a knot, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to waste time on this. You can do stuff like that. For the sake of this video, I'm just trying to make this a quick video. You can shape that any way you want. You take your V tool and you make grains, and the grain goes this way or that way. Now here's the thing. When I started cleaning up, I did neglect to mention what I did is I turned the video off and I did all of this. I took all the fur off, and I thought I didn't want to waste your time watching me just take this fur off. And that's the same here. I got that all clean. Sorry about that. I forgot to mention that as I came in. But anyways, I wanted to leave that. I was going to get into that, but I thought if I can get it so. Oh, let's see what kind of tools we got here that I can do that. This one has a bigger V. And maybe I shouldn't waste my time. I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of what I would possibly do. There we go. The thing that's kind of funny is, like I said, oh, that's right. This one had an anomaly right there. If you remember, that's, like I said, I don't want to give that to somebody. Now you could also take a drill, depending on how deep I wanted to go here. I probably don't want to go that deep. Let's start on this side to see how far I want to go on this. So let's go a little deeper here. Like I said, a little wider. Try a little wider this time. And this is the point where you cannot get that flat blade in there, that you have to use the tip. And when you use the tip, try to get as much of the flat blade in there. That might be as far as I want to go there. Same here. Now, what I originally started out as, here, as soon as I do this, I don't want to be cutting and doing something at the same time and slip. Now you can see there's some separation between the foot. And then I put the base on. So it depends on how you want to do that. Again, I want to do this the quicker, easier way, and then allow you to decide which direction you want to go. And I could feel the tightness of the wood, because there is that anomaly that's in there. There is, I might have to just, like I said, I don't want to waste my time, your time rather, showing you this. that you can figure out on your own or do on your own here what you want to do. There we go. I'm kind of self-conscious, and I mean, I want to show you how to do things. I just, when it comes to something I think you can probably do on your own, like this digging, because that's all I'm doing. I'm digging. I'm not doing anything special, spectacular, different. Again, I'm going to clean this. Get in there. Yeah, you can see that anomaly in there. That, ooh, right there. See it? I don't know if you can with the shadows shade. Now that just requires more cleaning out. I'll have to spend a little more time cleaning that out. Oops. That's moving right along. Let's get to the floor here. That chisel is not sharp. That one's more sharper. So I'm kind of cleaning to the floor and trying to separate the boots from the floor. And I think we're getting there. And I don't want to spend too much of your time on me just digging. That's all it is, digging and a picking, and I'm not being successful right now at this angle. But I'll get in there. I'll get in there. Now I want to clean this boot right here because that still has a little bit of the markings on there. And I do want to separate the boot from the floor. And like I said, I'll get in there more. I just want to, I want to get to the hands and the feet, the hands and the face is probably most important than just me digging with digging and digging. So I'll get to it. I'll again separate. I want to separate, like right here, between the legs and the tufts, so the pant legs go in, and the fur comes out more. Make sure I got that. Same with the boot. Depending if I don't have the boots together here. All right, so again, it's just picking, and I'm having problems picking at it right now. Get out of there. All right, just keep moving up, moving up. Like I said, I clean this, and you can take your round chisel and do this to it. to this. As sharp as you can. And this here. And this here. Where'd that come from? And this here. And so on and so on and so on. So let's pretend that I've finished going all the way around. Again, you dig deep. As sharp scoops as possible. I want to get to the hand. This particular hand. Let's see, I won't be needing this tool, I don't think. This one I might. And the knife, of course. So we want the hand, the thumb up more. So I want to separate the thumb a little bit more and the thumb this way. Now the hands, I did have some fingers separated as it would be when you hold on to something. I might be, let's see if we can do that here. We may have some separation. So I want to, oops, right. Straight down, straight across, straight down. A little bit of that. Now we're getting a little better. I wanted to get away from all that digging and chopping and all that stuff and get into more details. This is what I want to show you more of the hands and so on. Now this, get the box separated a little bit here before we get into the hands. There we go. Now these are the things I really wanted to show. Same here. Separate. Now this is going to be a chip. There we go. And see how much more cleaner it is when you're more flatter. Even with the tip. Use as much of the flat blade close to the chip, close to the tip. It gets much cleaner. There we go. Now we're working it. There, now we're working it. Okay, now I did clean the fingers, or the hand. I think it is about as round as I want it, and some of the planes in that I want it. Let's do a little bit more. There we go. Now, I think I better start with the V. I thought it would be easier. Like I said, the reason why I use the V for stop cuts and stuff like that is then it's more easier to get your knife in there. And so you won't slip as much. You have more control when you got that gully in there. When you got that in there, you got more control. Let me see, do I want to take my chances and get closer here? I got my X right there. Turn, there we go. Wider, nice wider cut. Now I want to bring the pinky in just a little bit. And down. There we go. Taking just a little bit of the ring finger, the second longest. There's the longest, and then index is the third. Now here's the thing that I want to look out for here. Let me cut this here. Am I still in? Get my package back. Or, I say package. Get my books back. This needs to be fixed. I need to fix this. One here is that it really is thinner. And I'll have to probably come back to that. Now I'm going to see if I can separate these fingers just a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to as well as I did with my first one there. If I can have some kind of separation. I think these two middle fingers are going to have to stay the same. They're going to have to stay there. All right, rounding. Now we're going to round. 2 places on each side. Here, 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 here. Mom back. Here, and here, and here. Here, and here. Then let us round the fingers a bit. Oops. So let's do it a little more wider here. More openness. Here and here. Here and here. Now let's get the book here. While I'm at it, I want to clean this up here. There, and clean this way. There, and see now that I wanted to leave that after I took the fur off, but I did bump into, I look at something and, oh, I'll fix that. No, wait a minute, I got to show you. This time I'm having the belt out. We'll clean up on this later. All right, so now there's all kinds of other little things, little doodads. Let me get my smaller number 9. That's a V. Let's hold it up. I might need to use that V. Oh, that's the V. That's the number 9. And do something like this. Now others have done something like this. I don't do this as much as this. You know, I think I need a reason why it's not working is a wider number 9. And sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't, depends. Let's get that thumb in there, the base of the thumb in there. And make sure that the thumb comes back a little bit before past the fingers. Oops. See, the fingers kind of should end about here, and the thumb should end farther back into the hand. Trying to think which direction to go here to around this and bring it down more. Then I want to do a little bit of undercut here. Undercut here to clean that and to kind of bring it in a little bit so it looks like there's the hole is in there, and he brought his hand out. Hand number 1. Where are you? Can I do it? I have one of those green, kind of green Scotch pads, and put it together and put it on a drill. That's what I do after that. And then one last picking. That's the last thing. I'm doing that just to get things out of the way. Okay, there's the hand. The right hand. Left hand. Next. Now I want to make sure, again, I need to straighten the box a little bit here. And I think he may be all right. Now I want the box, because the box has got to take priority over the hand as far as that flatness there. Yep, and then this box is coming to an end. His thumb is covering it. Same here on this end. The second box. But again, I'll be in the, that will be in the adjustment process at the end. Let's get in as much as we can. Now let's round this. Now, even though his hands are a little flat, I still want to put a little bit of this in here. And still straighten that box up a little bit. That book. All right, again, we will start with the thumb. And the box, the book. See, I can't talk, carve, chew gum, and think at the same time. Put a little holder to separate the box there. The book. No, because it's really interesting because all the other Santas, I mean, he's carrying a box or a present or something. But carrying books, so I've got a couple that have books. I'm going to round this a bit, and then also, now here's the deal. This is subjective here, is his hand isn't fully out, as you can tell, and that's all right. I'm so good with that. Pencil, where you? Oh, you're buried under there. But I want to get at least one finger out of this. Hopefully. And I don't know if the chisel will get in there, but there we go. Now be careful at the tip here, because I don't have as much control as I want to, and that tip, the index fingertip will come right out. Now I want to make it look like I have two fingers here, at least two. Oops. And just round that a little bit. And I think I'm going to stay there with that hand. Oops. I hate that sound of breakage. Even though it is the wood that breaks, one of these days is going to be the tip that breaks. And I've already broke the tip on this. I'm taking out that other finger. Well, and while I'm on it, right there, there's this. Now, with the exception of maybe some odds and ends of adjustments, I want the thumb to look the same. And there's more adjustments, but there's the basic look of it. While we're here, there's the belt, goes onto the buckle. We'll go like that, like that. I'm cutting about 10 degrees one way, 10 degrees away from or 10 degrees towards the buckle. In other words, away from the hole that I'm carving. Then come in here and it should, my favorite word, should pop out. And here's what can help us with that second finger. clean this just a little bit. You know, in retrospect, I don't know if you caught it. I did. I just caught it right now. There's the belt. The belt should have gone over that. Well, I think hopefully black will cover that. I'll clean it a little bit, but see what I like to do is a little bit of excuse me, undercut here. We'll kind of bring that belt out a little bit, even though it's supposed to be. So it gives it a little more depth. Okay, hands. I know there's a lot of other kinds of odds and ends. We got, what do we got left? The beard and the face. I always like to get the beard in first. Let's take a little bit of a drinky poo. Okay. Like I said, I always like to start with the beard before I get into the face. And now it does kind of drop a little bit here, so there's a little bit of. I want more droppage this way, because this actually is the hat, and I'm not going to do the ears. Like I said, if you want to do the ears, I have got other videos on the ears. So I'm going to take about a 20-degree angle and we turn, so we don't want to be too straight. And we turn, and we turn. Let's start with this first. And again, we've done the beard too. And I think I'm going to do just one side. On one side, you can do the same on the other. And I want to get into the face. Now after you separate them, separate to the bottoms here. Now sometimes what I like to do, I may even leave it just as is. Sometimes I like to take my V and clean it out, clean it out a little more. So it's much more deep. Get some depth in there. Get the little boogers out of there. And then I like to round it a bit. Some imperfections. Now that nice clean V I put in there is starting to disappear. And then let's get underneath a little bit of undercutting. the ball. And again, more cleaning up later. Oops. Undercut to bring that up. And again, you can do whatever you want with the beard. I like to do a little extra here. Some kind of do the same thing with the round tool as you did with the fur lining. Now I take my, that's getting kind of choppy on one side. Wrong way. Now when you twist it, you can either use the V, you can use a little round. Some people like to use a little round. I'm okay with this. As I did that. And then come back this way. A little bit of cleaning up. Like I said, I'm very anxious to get at the face, but let's clean this. Get those little boogers out of there. All right, face. Now, like I said, I put a little too much nose in there for the sake of maybe you want to have the nose on the book. We could probably try that. Let's try that. And with that, I have to make sure I got to my bearings. First, let's get that the face line in. There we go. I'm not going to have too much of that nose on the book. I'm not sure. We'll just round it just a little bit for now. And come back later. Oops. All right. I just want to clean the nose a little bit here. And it will, let's clean this up a bit. Let's get things cleaned up before we really get into it. How far off am I from the camera? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just cleaning this, and then You really didn't miss much if you didn't see it. Just cleaning for now. Now, I want to put this in. I'm going to do a V right here because we're going to come back with the chisel, but again, trying to get our bearings. Same with the cheek. Let's clean them out. Let's make a little bit of a effort to bring them out. We'll come back to that. Don't worry. Come back this way. Again, let's still clean out the nose. I want a little to put the dimensionality on the face. Cleaning up the. Since we're the thing that's more difficult is when it's with the grain this way, and you're trying to clean that furry stuff. They're really annoying little spackles or little grains of sand. Make sure your knife is really sharpened. And so on. I'll have to come back. I'll have to take some of this off in here. But we're going to come back with the chisel. Now a little more cut here. A little V right there. There we go. Now we got like most of the wood off, so now we want to take the chisel for the sake of, let me get it better, closer. This here is a number 9. Number 9 about, oh, I don't know. I think it's about 8 mils. I want to cut with the nose around the eye, just like this. Now this one is going to be a little more difficult because there's a little bit of the end grain ish kind of. It's a little bit close to the end grain, but it is possible. A little more deeper here. This side. Like this. And a little bit of this. Some more of this going. Wrong direction. Ooh, that got choppy. Going in the wrong direction here. my smaller number 9 about 3 mils, 3 millimeters. Get deeper into here. Deeper into here. Now what you can do, you can either, I'll carve eyes in there for you. Like I said, you can either put the eyes in, or you can carve the eyes in, or you can paint the eyes in. Now same with the hand. Okay, let's make this round. And then I want to go in the nose. Now the thing about this is we don't have to worry about the mustache or the mouth. There. I want to make it scoop right here a little bit, just a little bit. Scoop right here, just a little bit if we can. Depending on how that green is. The green's kind of funny there. And now what I want to do next, I'm going to shut the camera down, and I want to give this a good kind of a brush over. Like I said, downstairs I got the Scotch guard in, and I want to get that. I want to get to that. Before I get to the eyes, give this a little rundown. I'll be right back. Now I gave it a quick buzz, clean. I think I did a fairly decent job. So let's give you a thus far kind of a thing. Some picking still, but just wanted to give it a quick clean. So now I got my, oops, wrong glasses. I got my visor on. I gotta have the right glasses with the visor. And I hope I could do this. Several times I've banged into the camera because I've got to get kind of close here. Now let's see if we can do this. Look up. Yep, I already have because I got to look up. Trying to get my bearings as far as I put it there. I got a chisel in the background. All right, I want to put a line here, a line here, same distance about here, same distance from here to here to here to here. All right, I'm going to put kind of wide. Wide and then narrow down. He's going to be a little bit wider, I think, because he's going to get kind of anxious. I'm going to use that bottom. Wide. All right. All right. Here we go with my knife. Gonna draw it in with my knife. Careful. Kind of just a nice smooth cut. Maybe just a little rounded. Not too much there. Same here. Watch you don't slip in and hit your pinky. And then just a little bit past the, okay, now I'm going to extra oomph here. Extra oomph here. Flip it around. I got to remember where I am here. Extra oomph here. And here. While we're at it, I'll just pick that as the first chip. Pick this as the second chip. Flip her back. We got a little bit of this. A little bit of this. Oops. I'll have to get back to that. Let's finish the eyeball here. Now, I brought this in here, so I need to get that out of there. So that's something, so don't do that. That's a don't do. Okay. Now come up, and then from the top come down, and oh yeah, that's kind of against the grain there. And then what I got to do is shape it. Yeah, I got goofed up here, so I'm gonna have to. So what you're trying to do is to round the ball. Okay, same here. We're gonna go up, down, up. I need to straighten this out, clean it out a little bit, because I got too much of the grain in there. All right, so that's what we're trying to do, is round the ball. There's still quite a bit of adjustments to do, and getting that out of there. Oh boy, it's not coming out as good as I'd want it to. Come on. I need to find that toothbrush. All right, I'll just have to clean the eye. That's all there is to do on the eyeball. It's just you got to round it. And I think, again, I'm trying to do this and show it at the same time. It is difficult to show, and wondering if I'm in the frame or not. Or I'm going to take my V. Like that. Get that eyelid in there. That's a higher eyelid than if you would have done a female. I'm going to come in here one way, come back, go back this way. All right, getting there. And one extra thing I'd like to do is do a little bit of this. Now I think I take my visor off. I think. Again. I want to take that out of there. We cut right here. Careful you don't pry when you get into the eye, especially mouth if you're going to use like the ladies or something without a beard, is that when there's this little booger there, you don't want to pry it. You can push it if you cut it, so to brush it away if it's already cut away. This is going to get out of there. And then, oh, it just, it sticks. When you try to move it, then you got to come in and cut again. Scoop. We got some eyebrows here. Let's see if my bigger knife will help now. Yeah, I can use my bigger knife. There I get. A little more. Get that eyebrow in there. Eyebrow bone. And again, a little bit of cleaning here and there is needed. Just a little bit of. And the thing I kind of neglected here is on this side, I want to go a little deeper. Come back round. And we want to create a shadow line. And then bring this in. That's a little better. All right, well, let's get a little bit of eyebrow in there. Now, that's about as far as I want to go with this video. And what I'm going to do, I'll come back when it's all done and show you and give you the lectures on the cleaning. And here, let's do this before we go. I'll do this. This should be in. And for this extra crease here, I put an extra crease right here like this. From the top down forward. I want to get this a little cleaner. You can use a more rounder tool. Some people use round. So here, get this in. And one of these. Same with the back here. Now here, a little more sharper. I'll sharpen that up when I give it a once over. Another over. Same thing here. Put one of these in. One of those creases in. Or you can round it. Same with this side here. Clean this. Some more cleaning to go here. I want one of these. And I also want one of these here. And one of these here. And like I said, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to fix it and clean it up. Then I'll come back to you with it. But I think that's like the huge. I got to get into there, finish that, and he's almost ready.